Electric for Life here, bringing us a brand new video, and today we got a new deck profile of Speedroids. I've been wanting to do a deck profile of these guys for a long while, and they recently got some new support, finally. And by that, I mean we finally got the OCG stuff. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this forever. So, Speedroids is a really fun, roguish, synchro deck, and the biggest issue with the deck for the longest time has been that Terror Top is at 1, and that's not going to change anytime soon, more than likely. But Konami did give us a brand new searcher who basically acts as a replacement Terror Top. Is it as good? No, it's not. But however, it does help out the deck immensely and actually makes it where you can play the deck once again. So let's get on with this deck profile. First and foremost, we got 3 of the Speedroid Horse Stilts. Stilts is an amazing card for the archetype. He is a Marauding Captain. Whenever you normal summon it, you can special summon any Speedroid from your hand, and then once per turn while it's in your graveyard, it's up to turn it was sent there. You can banish it from your graveyard to send any wind monster from your deck to the graveyard, which means not only do you get to have a Marauding Captain effect on this thing, but you also have a Fool's Burial for any wind monster, which is basically any monster in your deck. And honestly, like most of the time, while yes, you do generally want to send your Speedroids, you can also send Tempest to the graveyard, which is amazing for what this deck wants to do, and I love it. Moving on, we got 3 Speedroid Takentenborg. It kind of goes without saying, Takentenborg is one of the best cards in the archetype. If you control a wind monster, you can just plop them on your board, and then once per turn you contribute them to special summon any Speedroid tuner from your deck, but for the rest of the turn you're locked into wind monsters. Pretty good card overall, helps combo, gets you to a tuner if you don't already have one, or it can act as non-tuner synchro materials if you do happen to have one, or it can help you make the link even easier, which this is actually one of the few decks where I would say that like playing your archetypal link is still really good. So yeah. Next up we got their new searcher, Speedroid Marble Machine. This thing, oh my god, I've been waiting for so long with it. So it has an OK pendulum effect where basically you can make it to where whenever your defense position monster is targeted for an attack, you can change it to attack position and it cannot be destroyed by that battle this turn. That's okay, you don't really care for its pendulum effect. The big one is its monster effect, where whenever it is normal summoned, you can add any Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. However, you are locked into wins for the rest of this turn. Yeah. And it's also hard once per turn, so there's no shenanigans with like double summon or anything like that. You know, I mean, of course, Terror Top is also once per turn, but however, he did not lock you into wins, and this one does, but you still absolutely need it. If possible, you are going to be opening it, and then normal summoning it, getting to Takentenborg, and then going off. And this deck does have ways of getting multiple normal summons, if you've seen my past deck profiles of it after the link came out. Next up, we got 3 Speedroid Red-Eyed Dice. This is the main tuner of the deck. The deck does have other tuners, but this is the main one. Basically, once per turn, actually not even once per turn, just whenever it is summoned, you can target a Speedroid you control, change its level from 1 to 1 through 6, and that's just really nice. You know, level modulation on a tuner that's a level 1 and is super easy to get out is really good for the archetype. You can do some machine dupe shenanigans if you really wanted to, but considering there's not many good targets for machine duplication in Speedroids, I don't recommend that unless like you're building a whole build around that and then playing the bad Speedroids that have enough attack to really make use of it, which isn't really recommended. Next up, we got 2 Speedroid Double Yo-Yo. I kind of flip-flop back and forth between playing 2 and 3 of this, but I feel like 2 is good for now. Basically, whenever he is normal summoned, you can target one of your level 3 or lower Speedroid monsters, special summon it. And that's not once per turn. If you happen to have multiple in your hand and multiple ways of normal summoning, you're going to get to be able to trigger both of their effects, which is really cool and lets you redo and reuse some really shenanigan stuff. Like for instance, you can bring back Takentenborg to use as effect, tribute, and special summon a dude. Or if you have Terror Top engraved, you can normal summon him, bring back Terror Top, get a search, and then proceed from there. it results in some really good shenanigans with the archetype, and I love it. That being said though, he does require graveyard setup, which isn't hard at all for this archetype to do, but he does suck opening first, and if you have no way of getting stuff in your graveyard, like a 1-for-1, a Foolish Burial, etc., he can be very bricky sometimes. So I have leaned more towards 2, at least for now, for the foreseeable future, because yes, it's very good, but you don't want to open it too often. You can also recur it from your graveyard to your hand pretty easily thanks to speed recovery, so that's always a thing, and some other shenanigans too. Next up we got Speedroid Den Daiko Duke. Wonderful name, Den Daiko Duke. He's a level 3 tuner with 1000 attack, 1000 defense, and you can banish him from your graveyard to summon any Speedroid tuner from your graveyard or hand, except a copy of himself. Really good card overall, helps with some really fun shenanigan combos with good old red-eyed dice and stuff. So just absolutely wonderful card for the archetype, and he's another tuner, so that's that. Then we got another one of their new pendulum monsters, and this one I mainly use for his pendulum effect, so much so I don't even remember what his monster effect is off the top of my head. But basically, his pendulum effect is that once per turn you can target one of your banished wind synchro monsters and return it to your extra deck. There's no like bonus effect or anything to that, you just return one of your banished wind monsters back into your extra deck, which is really good. Oh, and it can also target ones in your graveyard too. So in your graveyard or extra deck, graveyard or banished, return it to your extra deck. Really handy, and there's a big reason why I am making use of this, and that is because of the Speedroid Link monster. I think I mentioned it in my previous deck profile for those who have seen it, but basically my biggest complaint with the Speedroid Link monster, despite how good it is the simple fact that it requires you to banish your resources so heavily. That really sucks, and I never really liked that too much. Basically, if you guys don't know, the Speedroid Link monster lets you banish a wind monster, a wind synchro monster from your extra deck, to choose 2 Speedroids in your deck whose levels equal the total of the Link monster. One gets added to your hand, one gets sent to the graveyard, and while that's really good, I always hated having to banish the resources out of my extra deck, and Speedroid Hexasaucer helps mitigate that because I just can get those resources back. Couple that with good old Speedroid Domino Butterfly, and you got a pretty nice little combo here where we can get graveyard advantage while also recurring our stuff pretty easily, because Speedroid Domino Butterfly does something similar where once per turn you can discard a card, target one of your wind monsters, and add it to your hand. That is in your, that's well banished. And the big thing with that is that you're going to banish stuff a lot with this deck, especially thanks to Tempest being legal, and also of certain effects of the other Speedroids, like with Speedroid Makandama and stuff like that. So this is really helpful for what you want to do. And also thanks to these two, who I usually have in my pendulum skills all the time, you can actually pendulum summon Clearing Fast Dragon, which is really nice because he dies pretty easily. So getting to constantly bring them back is pretty nifty, which is awesome. So, next up we got the hand traps, 2 Ash, 2 Veiler, and 2 DD Crow. I'm playing Ash to mitigate, it's the best hand trap in the game, kind of goes without saying. Veiler is really nice because I don't have money for impermanence, otherwise I'd probably play impermanence instead. And then DD Crow because Adamantia and Eldritch are 2 of the best decks in the game right now, and they're both very graveyard reliant. Because, A, getting rid of their freaking, I don't know, Block Dragon that's in the graveyard, or picking out one of their, Eldritches or something, and it's in a graveyard, any card, so you can get rid of one of their elixirs or whatever. It's just really handy, so these really help out keep the deck up with the faster paced meta decks, because as it stands right now, while yes, this deck is all about speed and going speedy and making speedy plays and making speedy monsters, it gets outpaced by the bigger decks. Adamantia make this deck look like it is a GOAT format deck in terms of the speed and stuff, so it is a bit ridiculous. but I still love it. Andy's hand traps help pull the meta decks down a peg a little. Next up, we got one Tempest, because Tempest is awesome, having him back and everything, you know, just being a free synchro fodder, free link fodder, free whatever I want, and a 2400 beater, so why not? One Speedroid Terratop, because he's at 1. You play as many as you're legally allowed, so yeah. And then finally, for the last monster, one Speedroid Tri-Eyed Dice. I've seen a lot of builds cut him entirely, but I still really like playing one, because he has saved my life way too much. Speedroid Tri-Eyed Dice is a level 3 tuner with actually like really good stats for the machine dupe build, being a 300, 1300. But the biggest thing is, it's a Necrogard now. You can banish it from your graveyard. The next attack your opponent makes is negated. You know, it's literally a Necrogard now, and this thing has saved my butt way too many times, and it's recurable thanks to Domino Butterfly and stuff. So yeah, this is a really good card overall for the archetype. He's only really useful as a one-of because Den Daiko makes the better level 3 tuner, and he's also revivable thanks to other stuff and recurable. So really handy card overall. Just not a crazy good one, because I mean your opponent's probably going to banish it before you get to use it, but it's saved my butt a few times. Next up for the spells, we got 3 Speed Lift. This card is such a cheese card. So basically, if you only control one face up tuner monster and no other cards, special summon one non-tuner Speedroid from your deck, non-tuner Speedroid level 4 or lower from your deck, and no cards or effects can be activated on that monster summon. So, while your opponent can respond with Ash to this, they can't respond to the monster summon. So, like, let's say you summon, I don't know, let's say you only have Triad Dice and you summon out Horse Stilts from your deck. Your opponent can't activate Torrential on the summon of Horse Stilts. Now that being said, no one can activate anything, which means you can't activate Terratop's effect on summon with this, which is really annoying because it just sucks, you know. Oh hey, I get to summon Terratop and activate his effect to search. No, you can't do that because it says nobody can activate the effect of anything on the summon of that monster. So yeah, that sucks. On that note, though, I do cheese out Terratop with it from time to time because it's really nice to be able to bring them back with like double yo-yo or something. I'll typically only summon Terratop off it like if I have, like, let's say Triad Dice, activate this, special summon Terratop, link off for the link 2, effect of the link 2, get to summon an extra monster, summon double yo-yo effect, bring back Terratop, Terratop effect search, out attack at Temborg, and then attack at Temborg effect to special summon himself and continue off from there. So yeah, this card can enable some very, very wacky and wonderful combos for the archetype, absolutely necessary at 3. Then we got the Archetypal Monster Reborn, again necessary at 3. You know, it's a Monster Reborn for the archetype. And it also has the effect in the graveyard to banish it from your graveyard to add one of your banished dudes from your banished to your hand. To target one Speedroid in your graveyard, add it to your hand. It's, so not banished. But however, yeah, you special summon, and then also if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to add one of your Speedroids that's in your graveyard from your graveyard to your hand. I don't know why I keep thinking it adds from banished. Why do I keep thinking that? It does not. Next up, we got one Mind Control that kind of, it's just, like such an easy win card. You know, activate this, steal my opponent's link, whatever, or something that I can use for Synchro Fodder and go off. Upstart Goblin to get to my stuff faster. Monster Reborn because we don't have enough of that. One Pot of Avarice because this deck can actually like burn through its resources way too easily. One Regeki, one for one, and then one Fool's Burial to round up the spells and everything. No traps. I've tried testing out the Speedroid traps again, but they are mostly battle traps, and that just does not tend to work out very well in the current day and age of Yu-Gi-Oh! So first and foremost, for the extract, I got 3 High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. I kind of thought about cutting them down to 2, but I found that I just tend to go through all 3 super easily in a game, so I just decided to stick with 3 for now. Rubber Band Shooter, as I've mentioned, is an amazing Link monster. He has good Link arrows for pre-Master Rule revision. They aren't really relevant nowadays. And also, he just is super generic, needing 2 win monsters. Once per turn, you can add normal summon a Speedroid monster in addition to your normal summoner set. And then once per turn, you can banish one of your win synchros to select 2 of your Speedroids that have levels equal to the combined level of that dude that you banished. One gets randomly added to your hand, one gets sent to the graveyard. And then the turn you do that, you cannot normal summon or set monsters except for, you cannot special summon monsters except for wind monsters, which is pretty cool. And then I felt like he had another effect, but nope, that's just it. So yeah, really good card overall. Your opponent picks one at random, and then, you know, you just get to flood your graveyard. Now I'm gonna move on to the Synchros, and I do want to say, if you have the money for Apollousa, play Apollousa, okay? Apollousa is super easy to make in this deck with 4 materials and is an amazing card for this archetype. I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying her a little while ago when I had the money and I bought something else. But yeah, so play Apollousa if you do have money for Apollousa. But otherwise, we're going straight into the Synchros. First and foremost, 2, Clearwing Fast Dragon. This card I'm playing over Clearwing Synchro Dragon right now because he's just overall better for his effect, and also for the fact that he just keeps coming back because, well, he's a pendulum monster. So once per turn, during your player's turn, as a quick effect, you can target one monster that was special summon from the extract that your opponent controls, negate its effects, and I believe it drops the attack to 0. Yeah, change its attack to 0, and it has its effects negated. If he dies, you can put him in your pendulum zone. And then he has a pendulum effect where you can basically synchro summon him from your pendulum zone, which is kind of cool, but it's not really necessary. You're mainly just using his effect to just be able to control the board and get some negates out. Then we got the boss monster of the deck, High Speedroid Kite Drake, who I'm playing 2 of. He needs a wind monster, wind machine tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. And then he has 3 effects. So first effect, if it's Synchro Summon, you can activate one of these effects, destroy all other cards on the field, or negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent controls. If this card is in your possession, is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, you can add 1 Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. So on summon, you either get to destroy everything on the field, except himself, or you can negate everything your opponent currently controls, and that's a permanent negate. It's not until the end of the turn, and if he dies, you get to search out any Speedroid from your deck to your hand. Really, really good card overall for the archetype. Makes an amazing boss monster. He's super easy to make. 3k attack, 2800 defense, a really good monster all around. Next up, I got 1 High Speedroid Puzzle. Puzzle, whenever he battles an opponent's special summon monster, it doubles his attack power to 26. And if he's in the graveyard and was sent there this turn, during the end phase, you get to add 1 of your Speedroids that's in your graveyard to your hand. He doesn't care how he gets there, so you can use him for synchro climbing to get your stuff from your graveyard back, just to kind of help mitigate the resource cost. 1 High Speedroid Chambara for the insta-kill. Basically, he can attack twice, and he goes up by 100 attack every time he attacks. Or is it 200? I can't remember. It is 200 attack. And then if he is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Speedroid cards, add it to your hand. I love add Speedroid cards, so you can add back like spells and traps, but there's no Speedroid spell or traps. There's there's speed, but there's not like Speedroid spell or trap cards. 1 Stardust Charge Warrior. Whenever you Synchro Summon, you get to draw a card, and he can sack everything your opponent controls once each. The big thing is the draw card, because it helps mitigate the cost of Synchro Summoning, while you Synchro climb into bigger, better things. 1 High Speedroid Kendama. Once per turn, you can banish 1 dude from your graveyard to burn your opponent for 500. That can mean a lot sometimes, like holy crap. And then he's got Piercing, which is also really handy. And if he is in your graveyard and control nothing else, you can special summon from your graveyard, but you cannot normal summon or set for the rest of his turn. And I believe it also, you cannot just normal summon or set. So if like you got attacking the board or something, you can special summon him and just kind of go off for there. 1 Clearwing Synchro Dragon. He's just not as good as he used to be, which I really hate saying because I still love him. As like one of my I love all 4-dimension dragons, but he's one of my favorites. Like I'd probably put him at the top or like second. It's really hard to pick between him and Dark Rebellion, but I digress. He's got 2 really good effects. Once per turn, if a monster that's level 5 or higher activates its effect, you can negate and destroy that monster, and then you get to add its attack power on a Clearwing until the end of the turn. And then once per turn, if a monster activates an effect that targets a level 5 or higher monster, you can negate that effect, destroy that monster, and then Clearwing gains its attack power. It's a wonderful card for negates, except level 5 or higher monsters aren't that relevant anymore, and he only negates level 5 or higher monster effects that are on the field. So if like your opponent activates Eldritch's effect in the graveyard or in the hand or something, you're not going to get to trigger his effect. Now that being said, if they target like Clearing with something that's a level 5 or higher monster, or heck any monster effect, he can negate it because that doesn't care where it is. It's just on the field for level 5 or higher monster activations, it's not as good. It is handy for whenever your opponent's like trying to like bounce stuff with Adamantabia or so whatever. Next up, we got one side frame Lord Omega. And then one Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. I'll be honest, he's just not as easy to make in the deck as he used to be. If you can get him out, it's wonderful. He's really, really handy. But however, really honestly, High Speedroid Kite Drake kind of tends to take precedence over him. But however, getting him out along with a Clearing Fast Dragon and or Clearing Synchro Dragon is really good. I'm also only playing one because I can only get one right now. I can't find any, and I just don't have a lot of spendable income. So yeah, and then one Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier. This thing can just auto win, well not auto win, but it can really screw over whatever your opponent's playing. If you have a second Crystal Wing, I would definitely take out Trishula for another Crystal Wing, and I would probably take out Puzzle for an Apollousa if you have her. And that is the deck. I love Speedroids. This is one of my, honest to God, favorite rogue decks and everything. You know, like if this deck just got a little bit more support, which I think it will one day because it is a big fan favorite deck from the Arc V era, this deck could totally be a rogue, not even just a rogue contender, but like I would say that it could even, like, it's just a few cards short. That or like unlimiting, like, you know, Terror Top would help out a lot, but like that goes without saying, you know. Anyways, I digress. What do you guys think? Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Consider being a channel member. It is only $1 a month, and every dollar goes a long way to helping me out. And hey, you get some cool little perks and bonuses here and there. You know, thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. See y'all later, and peace out. Thank you all for watching the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And see y'all later.